Hades is one of the most feared names in Greek mythology, yet fear has often hidden the truth about who he really was. Unlike his brothers Zeus and Poseidon, Hades ruled not the skies or the seas. He ruled the underworld, a realm both mysterious and eternal. To mortals, death was terrifying, and because Hades governed that realm, he too became a figure of dread. But was Hades truly evil or simply misunderstood? The myths tell us a different story than the one most people believe. When the world was divided among the Olympian brothers, Zeus claimed the skies, Poseidon took the seas, and Hades received the underworld. Many saw this as a curse, but Hades accepted his duty. He became the guardian of souls and the keeper of balance. Mortals often prayed to avoid his gaze. Yet Hades himself was not cruel or bloodthirsty. He ruled with fairness, ensuring the wicked were punished and the just received their proper rest. His domain included rivers of fire and shadow, but it also held meadows of peace for those who lived good lives. In this way, Hades was not a villain. He was the ultimate judge, balancing fear with justice. One of the most famous myths about him is the tale of Hades and Persephone, a story that has shaped his reputation for centuries. Hades desired Persephone, the daughter of Demeter. He took her into the underworld, sparking anger among gods and mortals alike. To many, this looked like an act of cruelty. But in truth, Persephone grew into her role as queen of the underworld. She became a powerful goddess in her own right. Together, she and Hades ruled with strength and fairness. This myth also explained the cycle of the seasons. Persephone's time above and below shaped the rhythm of nature itself. Through her, Hades was not seen as only dark. He was also connected to growth, harvest, and renewal. Still, many feared him because he dealt with death, and death is something all mortals dread. But unlike the grim reapers of later tales, Hades was not a tormentor. He was a protector of souls on their final journey. He was never reckless with life or death. In fact, he was perhaps the most responsible of all the Olympians. Zeus chased women and wielded thunder. Poseidon unleashed storms and earthquakes, but Hades remained steady in his duty. His realm was not chaos. It was order, structured with laws and boundaries no mortal or god could break. Within his halls stood the throne of judgment. Here, the souls of mortals were judged for their deeds. The good were rewarded with peace in the Elysian fields. The wicked were punished in the depths of Tartarus. And those neither good nor evil wandered in the asphodel meadows, existing in quiet eternity. This system was not cruel. It was just, ensuring balance in life and beyond. Hades himself rarely left his realm. He was not interested in power struggles or wars among the gods. This made him one of the most stable Olympians. While others schemed, Hades remained focused on his duty. The Greeks even avoided speaking his name directly. They called him Pluton, meaning the giver of wealth. This name reflected the riches of the earth. Gold, silver, and gems were said to come from his domain below. In this sense, Hades was not only Lord of Death, he was also connected to life's hidden treasures. Yet, storytellers often painted him as a villain. Later, myths and retellings exaggerated his darkness. They compared him to monsters and demons. But in the earliest myths, Hades was never evil. Instead, he represented inevitability. Death comes for all, and Hades was simply the one who received it. Mortals feared him because they feared the truth of mortality. In him, they saw their own unavoidable end. But Hades did not choose who lived or died. That power belonged to the fates, not to him. His role began only after death. He ensured every soul received what it deserved. In fact, he was one of the few gods who never broke his oaths. His loyalty and fairness were unmatched. Even Zeus and Poseidon could not claim such honor. Their pride often led to chaos, but Hades remained unshaken. Persephone's presence softened his image further. Together, they created a balance between darkness and light. Their union symbolized not just death, but also rebirth. For without the cycle of death, life could not continue. This truth reveals why Hades was so important. He was not a destroyer, but a guardian of the natural order. The Greeks knew the night would always fall. They knew death would always come. And in both, Hades stood watch. To mortals, this watchful presence was frightening. But to the gods, it was essential. Even Zeus respected Hades' role. Without him, the cycle of existence would collapse. Hades' underworld was feared, but it was not chaotic. It was carefully maintained, a realm of balance and justice. His image as a villain is a later invention. The true Hades was far more complex. He was feared, yes, but also respected. He was not loved, but he was essential. To misunderstand Hades is to misunderstand death itself, for he was not its cause, only its keeper. And perhaps that is why he remains so misunderstood. In truth, Hades may have been the most just of all the gods. He was the god mortals prayed never to meet, yet the god they could never avoid. In the end, Hades was not a monster. He was simply inevitable.